Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. Chelsea news. It's a daily series once again this summer on the George Benson Football Channel. So, if you aren't already, please do subscribe to the channel. We are growing very quickly on GBFC right now. I think we gained more new subscribers in the last week than in any other week in the last 3 years. So a big shout out to all of you that are liking the videos, sharing the videos, and of course subscribing to the channel. Keep it going, and I'll keep delivering the content and the goods for you lot. Today, we have literally got a stacked full page of the GBFC notebook to talk to you guys about, beginning with Liam Delap, who Chelsea obviously have signed now from Ipswich. Medical is going to be on Monday, according to David Ornstein. And this is Fabrizio Romano's tweet. Chelsea have exchanged documents with Ipswich Town tonight, confirming £30 million for Liam Delap. Medical booked on Monday. And then obviously, as a result of this, there is a debate and a dilemma to be had about Liam Delap's preferences for what he does this summer. And we're not talking about, is it Ibiza? Is it Malia with the boys? Is it going to be the Cotswolds for a nice little cottage stay? No, it's either the FIFA Club World Cup or the under-21 Euros. Which one would you choose? If you are a young player who is playing for your country, I want you guys to let me know what your preference would be here. And I think I know what the answer would be. But it isn't the England first team. This is the under-21s. And Chelsea have just signed him. And I think if you're Liam Delap, or if I'm Liam Delap, okay, this is my thoughts on this. I am going to the Club World Cup with my new club, Chelsea Football Club, because the fact that we're even in this tournament is because we're Champions League winners. So if you think that it's an easier pathway to Thomas Tuchel's England team by doing well in the Under-21 World Cup, rather than being in a Club World Cup against Real Madrid, PSG, Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, I think I've said enough there, haven't I? Liam Delap, if he comes to Chelsea, Chelsea are going to ask him to put the Club World Cup ahead of England. His 30 million release clause triggered and should get finalised. FIFA tournament has priority over under-21 Euros. This is Mike McGrath's tweet. And to be quite honest, as much as I'd understand a footballer, right, playing for your country would just be incredible, I'm always the same. When England are coming on, I'm like, suddenly I just turn on this sense of love and support the same way that I do for Chelsea. But it's not the Euros, it's the under-21 Euros. And I think that is important to think about. So let me know, what do you think Liam Delap will choose? I think it's one of those weird ones, isn't it? Where if he says, nah, sorry, mate, I'm not coming to the Club World Cup, then I think it already looks bad. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this and making it into something bigger than it is. But I think it's not really a great start if you don't prioritise your brand new club over playing for the England under-21s. But anyway, let's move now. Liam Delap is going to become a Chelsea player. The medical is on Monday. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on that in the comments down below. We move. Jadon Sancho. Chelsea wants Jadon Sancho to stay and are in contact with his representatives about getting a deal done. Regarding Jadon Sancho, okay, this is all on Jadon Sancho now. If Jadon Sancho doesn't want to lower his wages, fair enough, mate. Go back to Manchester United. See how it goes for you there. They're going to look to sell you, and I don't think the performances in the last couple of years are going to warrant Jadon Sancho being offered the kind of money that he wants. So I think it would be a big step for Sancho to kind of just put this whole I want 300 grand a week thing to bed and be like, okay, now I'm going to go to Chelsea. I've just won a trophy. They want me to stay. We're a young team. We're a growing team. The manager sees me as part of the plans. Let me go and earn, by winning things, a higher wage. I think this is a massive opportunity for Sancho, who had a huge early start to his career. It was glistening with great big praise and performances at Dortmund. Even on loan last season against tonight's Champions League finalist PSG, Sancho was amazing for Dortmund in that game. So I think there's a big chance now that he will actually just turn around and look at his career trajectory and be like, this is probably the best move that I can do for the futurance and betterance of my career right now. Let me know your thoughts on Jadon Sancho in the comments down below. So this is also regarding the next striker coming in at Chelsea. And I'll just obviously we've been doing news videos every day. You guys have been watching them all. You guys have been showing loads of love on them. But I do think now that we've signed Liam Delap, I think Chelsea won't rush the next one. And this is what we're hearing. This is a Simon Phillips tweet from Fabrizio. Quote, after Liam Delap, it will depend on opportunities. Chelsea and Liverpool are informed on Hugo Ekitike, and there will be contacts with both clubs in the next days. Chelsea remains interested in the situation of Ekitike, but it's not something advanced. Chelsea have got to also think, right? Maresca is going to be obviously taking a little bit of a break now, hopefully recovering from a few glasses of wine after winning the Conference League. We got to take a little bit of time to mentally end that season and be like, we've had a good time, and then start mentally checking in for the Club World Cup. So my prediction with this, and you might not like hearing this one, because you know that I'm always the hype man. I'm always like, he's coming. This guy's coming. That guy's coming. I think now the priority is going to be trying to sign a centre-back before the Club World Cup begins. And then when you read this, it will depend on opportunities. I don't think this is an outright negative, as in Chelsea might just settle with Liam Delap and not sign another striker. I don't think that's the case. But in terms of rushing to get it over the line, Liam Delap at 30 million quid with Forest, Everton, Newcastle, Man United all interested in the player. That was the one that required fast action, get it done. And we've got it done. So in that sense, massive success and well done to Chelsea for putting the groundwork in, Joe Shields for having that player in his eye line and getting this one done quickly. Regarding Hugo Ekitike, I think Liverpool are also in a position this summer where they will look at a Chelsea under Mourinho. Do you remember when we won the league? I do. When we got all of the business done early. Liverpool are in that position where they've got the funds. Florian Wirtz is coming. Frimpong's been announced. If you're a Liverpool fan, you are itching for next season to start. And I think Ekitike, that would complete an absolutely insane summer for Liverpool. So Chelsea have got to be careful that we don't miss the boat. That because we've gone for Dilap, Ekitike's well, they're not really pushing for me right now. Screw it, I go to Liverpool. If Ekitike's the man they want, they've still got to be aggressive in the market. But I also think Chelsea will be looking to see what happens. And we're going to bring those big names up again. Victor Gyökeres, okay? I want to ask you guys a question. Why are the big clubs right now not really pushing anything concrete for Victor Gyökeres? For me, I think there is a lot of concern about the fact that he's scoring all those goals in the Portuguese league, had a great season in the Championship. And I will remind people that in the Championship at Coventry, he also played 46 matches, which is a lot more than in any of the top flight leagues in Europe per season. So the numbers are slightly inflated there. But at the same time, you've seen him absolutely bully Manchester City this season. I don't think it is as risky as people are making it out to be. When it comes to Gyökeres, I would not be surprised right now, logically thinking, right? Because the goal record is insane. The assists, insane. The top percentile numbers, we've been through it all week, absolutely insane. I think it's the wages. I think it's the fact he's 27. And I think a lot of clubs are starting to look at what Chelsea are doing and thinking, there's actually value behind this. And I mean value in monetary senses, because 27-year-old striker, this is his big move in his career. This is the one where there's probably the big wage increase. There's going to be an agent fee. There's a lot to take in with this one. But I also, especially now that Saudi Arabian money in football is becoming more prevalent year by year, I also think that clubs need to be aware that these top big name players, they'll want them in their 30s. So when it comes to resale values, I'm not saying, well, yeah, everyone's going to go to Saudi. But the top players, the big names, they want to develop that league. They've got the cash to do so. So I would fully anticipate that being a career trajectory for a Gyökeres, even for a Victor Osimhen. And he scored again for Galatasaray last night. We're going to mention him quickly. When it comes to Chelsea now and that second striker position, if Liam Delap does agree to go to the Club World Cup, I think we might take the foot off the gas a little bit, but not in the sense of we don't need one, we're not buying one. Purely in the sense of analysing the striker market, looking at the concrete interest from other clubs around, and if there isn't as much, then these top players like the Gyökereses, the Osimhens, they might then lower their demands or settle for a move to a place where money is the answer and not necessarily football. There is a big risk in that as well, that Chelsea get left behind. If, for example, a Manchester United, I don't know how Cunha's gone there. What a player. What a signing. If they sold Garnacho, Mainu, they'd have money to spend. So I think there is definitely still a world where an Osimhen could end up at Manchester United. But we're going to talk now about one of our own going to Manchester United. Manchester United have expressed their interest in completing a surprise summer move for Chelsea striker Nicholas Jackson. I mean, I don't know about this. In fact, I hate everything about this, because if Nicholas Jackson were to go to Manchester United, I think he'd do incredibly well. And at the moment, we're all talking Chelsea fans and all the comments on here, and me to you lot, I'm saying 2 strikers. Yeah, we need 2 strikers. Liam Delap, yeah, he's good, but we need another elite one, because Dilap and Jackson, I don't think that wins you a Premier League. I still don't. But I don't want to see Jackson go into Manchester United, for goodness sake. And look, if Chelsea do go out there and buy another big name striker, whether that is a Gyökeres, Osimhen, Ekitike, Sancho, any of those names that have been just doing the rumour mill for months and months, if not years now, when it comes to coming to the Premier League and Chelsea, Nicholas Jackson will be like, look, I want to leave. I want to be out of here. I want to be the main man. Jackson is not going to be settling for Madwki minutes next season. It's just not. We know it. You know it. I know it. We all know it. Jackson is a player who I think has kind of been the architect of his own downfall in a way, because he's got so much ability, but then when his foot goes off the gas, the car crashes. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't really salvage it. It just goes off a cliff. Manchester United, I don't want to be strengthening them by selling them Nicholas Jackson, but it might become a point here where we can't have it all. Do you know what I mean? You can't just keep stockpiling talent after talent after talent and expect them not to go. So with that being said, let's talk now about Noni Madwki. AC Milan want to sign Noni Madwki from Chelsea this summer, but his 50 million asking price is too much for the Italian club. Is the asking price for Noni Madwki 50 million? Is it not a bit more than that? What do you guys think about this? Because this isn't from the most reputable source. I'm not going to talk about this for too long until there's anything concrete, but I do think, right, with Chelsea looking at wingers this summer, Tyreek George's development, and maybe he goes on loan next season. I don't think he'll be sold. I do see one of Noni or Neto potentially leaving, especially with Esteval coming in, Quenda coming in next year. We don't have the time right now to be waiting for players to explode, because there's already someone banging on that door being like, listen, mate, I want your position. And I think Noni will be aware of this. If you keep watching Esteval week after week, game after game at Palmeiras, this guy is outrageous. And no, I don't expect him to blow the Premier League up immediately, because he's 18, he's coming from Brazil, and he's still a kid. But he actually is outrageously good at football. So I would not be surprised if we're all like, oh, hang on a minute, that right wing position is now locked down. See you later, Neto. See you later, Noni. And I don't mean it in that sense of get rid of them. I just mean Esteval could genuinely come in and make it untenable for Madwki and Neto to be starting game after game, because he could become undroppable. He could. It really could happen quickly. I don't think it will, but it might. So Madwki to AC Milan. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. This is a story that I really like the sound of. Jarrad Branweight to Chelsea. Chelsea are weighing up an approach for Everton star Jarrad Branweight, but David Moyes remains determined to keep England international this summer. For me, I think Branweight is up there on a par with Mark Guehi. If Chelsea sign a Jarrad Branweight or a Mark Guehi this summer, then I think we have absolutely elevated our defensive line for next season. And that being said, if you watch the 6 things we learned from the season video, which went up last night, yesterday evening, I think the defence has been a really positive of this season, particularly towards the end of the season, where we were finding ways to grind out 1-0 wins, looking resolute defensively. But I think that right centre-back position is still a voided hole. I think Wesley Fofana cannot be trusted to stay fit. I think Achampong will probably be a backup to Reece James. Could see Malo Gusto going out the door this summer. There's still so much happening. We're not even at June yet. It's May the 31st, for goodness sake. But Jarrad Branweight, I think Premier League proven defender. I think he's strong, he's big, and as much as a lot of people might not like this, because, you know, the UK is the biggest channel of people that watch this channel, right? But I'm English. I support England and Chelsea, right? And I love having this English core of players potentially at the club. Like a Branweight-Colwill partnership with Reece James next to him, with Madwki, Sancho, Palmer, Dilap. Like, I really like the sound of this, personally. Don't want to offend anybody there and be like, oh, he only loves the English players. No, I love everybody, all right? I love you all. But Jared Branweight, top defender, and I think Chelsea should be in the market for him. Next story. Bloody hell, this is a great video today. Make sure you smack that like button and subscribe, guys. Georgi Petravvic is a target for AS Monaco, who have publicly expressed their intent to sign a new goalkeeper this summer. Petravvic is also open to a move. However, Chelsea's €25 million valuation could prove an issue. You see, this is my issue, right, with sending players to France, is that French clubs will take a look at them and be like, oh yeah, they're top players, but these lot don't have the money to pay top fees. And Petravvic was bought in for what, like 12 million quid? 25 million euros is just over 20 million pounds. He was the best goalkeeper in France last season. The trajectory of his rise has been meteoric, I'd say, in the last 12 months for Petravvic. 25 million. I think Chelsea would be foolish to do this. I think, if anything, the smart move would be to keep Petravvic at Chelsea, give him the start of the season, give him next season. I genuinely think he's a massive improvement on Sanchez and Philip Jorgensen. And then in the future, because we've got Mike Penders, who is supposedly the next Thibaut Courtois, if that really is the case, then you give Petravvic a Premier League season, all of a sudden he's a €50 million goalkeeper, not a €25 million goalkeeper, if not more. And that is me saying, well, we're always going to sell him, aren't we? No, why do we have to sell him? Because we bought him cheap. Nah, I think Chelsea would be very foolish to let Petravvic go for such a small fee this summer. Let me know your thoughts on Petravvic in the comments below. Benfica are understood to be progressing in talks, with their plan being to re-sign Felix on loan, though Chelsea's preference would be for a permanent sale. Saudi Pro League clubs and Brazilian club Flamengo recently showed an interest in Felix, but his preference is to stay in Europe. I kind of feel a bit for João Felix, but I do wonder if it is all, again, architect of his own downfall, because to be sold by Benfica for 140 million quid or whatever it was, and to end up there again 5 years later, your career has completely stagnated. And I quite like João Felix, and I mean that on not a personal level, as in I know him, he's my mate, we play FIFA against each other. No, I like the fact that he's a cool guy. He's obviously clearly got some serious talent with the ball at his feet, but something isn't quite right. I made a video about this back in, I think, January, February time. I'll leave it as a card on the screen up here. It was talking about how he's such an expensive problem. But if the only suitors are Benfica, who aren't even willing to buy him but only want to loan him, or Saudi clubs or Brazilian clubs, then I think that the nail is pretty much in the coffin for João Felix, which is sad because there was so much promise there. But even this loan move at AC Milan, AC Milan don't want him. I think sometimes footballers have just got to just take that ego hit. Like Sancho, for example. You're not a 350 grand a week player anymore. You're a good player. You can still get better, but you can't be demanding those wages and expect to get it paid based on what you've delivered on the pitch. Same for João Felix. So what's going to happen with Felix? Again, an expensive problem. I've said this time and time again. Let's see what happens. But anyway, guys, we are going to move on to more news probably later on today. So make sure you are subscribed to GBFC. You smack a like on this video. 330,000 of you lot on this channel now. Mental. As I said at the start, we've gone up so many new subs this week. So thank you. Keep it coming. And I will keep the videos flying your way. At least one a day. Maybe even two. I'm flying to America tomorrow. So we'll be out there for the Club World Cup. So you won't want to miss anything there. And I've already got a really sick video schedule for while I'm in the air. So don't worry. You're still covered. I'll see you guys then.